The sounds of Steve Buttleman, that certainly puts you in the mood for a little bit of racing. We want to talk Keeneland, and of course, we want to talk Keeneland at home. I'm your host, Christina Blacker. Welcome back to the show as we set you up for this Sunday afternoon of racing. We hope that you are safe, home, happy, and healthy. We miss seeing all the fans out there at Keeneland. Bill Thomason said it recently that Keeneland has the best fans in the world, and he is absolutely right. But through this show, we're trying to bring some of those experiences at home to you until we are able to safely welcome you all back on track, see your smiling faces, and hear all those cheers. But we know you're cheering at home because we have a phenomenal Sunday afternoon of racing for you. Keeneland at home is the hashtag. Be sure to use that. Let your friends know and let them know if you're having a little luck or if you need some help picking winners. We're here to support you in that as well. Let's take a look at the lineup today for the racing this afternoon. Again, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Post Time. We have 3 more stakes races on deck, all of which are Breeders' Cup Win in Your In events. We have the Indian Summer presented by Keeneland Select, the Bourbon, and the Juddmonte Spinster. And a special thanks to our presenting sponsors of the show, UK HealthCare, for bringing Keeneland at home to you each and every weekend. We've had a chance to take a look at the Keeneland gift shop. We heard from Maria Montgomery yesterday as far as some of the women's fashion. But for the men at home, just because you can't be out at the track doesn't mean you can't look good as well. Eric Goff of EF Meeks, he is here today to talk to us about a little bit of men's racing fashion.
Hi, it's Eric Goff with EF Meeks, Meeks Fashion. I hope everyone's excited for the fall meet at Keeneland this year. I know we all want to be there this time of year, but I also think we can still have a lot of fun watching the races at home, as long as we bring some of those nostalgic elements to our house, one of those being fashion. Now, whether you want to dress to the nines or you just want to dress up a pair of jeans, I think it'll really help our morale, and I hope that EF Meeks has something for you. We offer bow ties, pocket squares, and even scarves, and most recently masks. Today I just wanted to show you how I would probably style a couple jackets for this meet in the fall. On the one side I've got this tweed jacket statement piece of my grandfather's. On the other side a little bit more of a conservative simple jacket in this blue. So with the tweed, you know, for this occasion I probably wouldn't put a tie or a bow tie in that jacket or on that jacket, but I definitely would throw in a pocket square. It just adds a little bit dimension to that jacket, and it also is a conversation starter. As for the other jacket, you know, you can go a little bit either way with it. You could throw a bright pocket square in there, or you could even go with this, you know, still kind of bluish pocket square that I've added. It gives a little contrast to the jacket and still a great piece. Now with this one, you know, you could just do the pocket square, but I've also included a bow tie. For those of you that are scared to tie a bow tie or don't know how to, I figured I'd give a little quick tutorial. It's fairly simple. Just like a tie, you're going to have one a little bit longer than the other. You're just going to cross over with that longer piece up through the top. And then you're going to throw that top piece back here. Now here, just fold over. And then this piece right here over the top. And then wherever you have this folded over bow, you're going to have a piece here in the back. That's the side you want to go through. And then from here, it's just kind of playing with it until you get it the way you want it. And the thing about a bow tie, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. Get the collar down. There you go. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope I gave you some insight. I hope you enjoy the fall meet at home this season, and I hope you're wearing some EF Meeks. Find us at Keeneland Mercantile and efmeeks.com.
Eric, thank you so much. You can find neckwear from EF Meeks at the Keeneland gift shop. Just visit shopkeeneland.com. Have yours delivered right there to your doorstep. Our friends at Buffalo Trace, they want to make sure that not only are you well dressed, courtesy of EF Meeks, but you have a drink in hand today. It is a Sunday, so Sunday fun day. Kick back, relax, and enjoy the racing today. Our signature drink is called the Buffalo Bowtie. Take a look at how to make one for yourself.
Hello, how are we today? My name is Mike Abbott. I'm here at Goodfellas Pizzeria in the Distillery District of Lexington, Kentucky, and I want to make for you today the Keeneland Buffalo Bowtie. For this drink, it is a mixture of bourbon, a white peach syrup, and Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace is fantastic for this cocktail. At 90 proof and being a low rye mash bill, it has just a little bit of a buttery citrus note to it, which really stands up when held up against the white peach syrup. So I just added about a ½ ounce of that. We're gonna do an 1.5 ounces of Buffalo Trace. Go ahead and add ice. And we're gonna give this a nice hard shake. This will chill down your cocktail, but also dilute the water down just a little bit. Release some of that burn from the bourbon and enhance the flavors and emulsify that white peach syrup. We'll finish that by double straining it into your favorite cocktail glass. And then adding your favorite ginger ale, or if you're a true Kentuckian, you'll use some L81. Go ahead and throw some ice on there and garnish with a lime bow tie. Cheers.
The Sunday Fun Day continues. You have your drink in hand, hopefully, and it is time to get to our handicapping with Ellis Starr. The Uber capper has been giving you winners here on Keeneland at Home all weekend, so let's not slow it down. Ellis, I am looking forward to the Sunday card here. 3 more stakes races that we have and some win in your in events for the Breeders' Cup. Let's start with the Indian Summer. Let's give the 2-year-old Colts their opportunity at the 5.5 furlongs on turf. I think one of the hardest things in this race, Ellis, is just to separate Wesley Ward's horses from each other.
That's right. Wesley Ward just wins a lot of these races. A great record, by the way, 18 wins, 11 seconds from 62 turf sprint stakes the last couple of years with 2-year-olds. I mean, not just older horses. So he's really good with that, and it is tough. I'm going to give his Wink a small preference here. This is a filly. He won the race last year with Kamari with the filly. He takes his horses to Europe, comes out of a really nice race in France, won 2 races in the U.S. before that, including what we call the Colleen Stakes at Monmouth, gets under kind of an unknown jockey in Gerardo Corrales, who wins a lot for Ward, 34 for 92 together, mostly riding the Kentucky circuit. Don't be worried when you see a jockey like Corrales for a top trainer like this. And Wink, just tremendous speed, should be really tough. The other Ward, Golden Pal of the 3, actually another of his 3. The third is Roderick. But Golden Pal also very nice. Win in 2 seconds. Ran in England to a very top sprinter called the Learjet at Norfolk and ran really well. Came back to the U.S. in the Skidmore. And again, kind of a comparison to Kamari last year. Kamari had won a stake at New York before coming into winning. So the filly won last year at Wink, and Golden Pal won coming out of New York. Both Ward's fillies look very tough in this year's Indian Summer.
Wesley Ward with these internationally campaigned runners. So the slight nod to the filly Wink there from Ellis Starr in the Indian Summer. The 7th race is a really nice maiden special weight event. Don't forget about that one. But we're going to skip ahead to the Grade 2 Bourbon, which is race number 8 on the program. 1 1/16 on the turf course this time for the Colts and Geldings. Ellis, this is a very dynamic race, a full field. Start to the outside, though, for me with Barrister Tom, the 11 in here. This is a horse that keeps winning, but not getting any respect at the windows.
No, absolutely. He broke his maiden in his first turf race, and then he posted the big upset in the juvenile stakes worth almost $500,000 at Kentucky Downs at 44 to 1. Now Florent Giroux gets on. It's interesting. We'll get back to the other one, but Florent Giroux had ridden a horse named Indy Tourist in this race, not in his last race, to third in the juvenile, and gets off to ride Barrister Tom. So that's really intriguing. He's definitely one of the contenders. We'll move inside a little bit to the four into the sunrise. Here we are talking about Wesley Ward again, with the 2-year-olds this time just going long, and ran a very good race, just beating a neck in the Soar Free Stakes at Woodbine. The winner of that race is named Gretzky the Great, who we might also see in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, which is the prep. This race is a prep for. Gretzky the Great came back to win the Summer Stakes at Woodbine, and then Into the Sunrise was only a neck behind. So he's got a lot of quality and a big shot here. And then all the way to the inside to Indy Tourist, who we just talked about, who has improved with every start. He broke his maiden by 15 lengths going long on the grass in his second start, and then that big effort rallying from 7th to only be beaten 3/4 of a length in the juvenile. All these three are moving up. They're all getting better as they should physically within the races, and those are the three contenders in the race. I will add a Hidden Enemy is a horse that I thought was going to go in a race on Saturday. It looks like he might go in the Bourbon, and if he does, he should be considered.
Would you play those horses in an exacta, Ellis, or do you have a different strategy in the Bourbon this year?
I would play an exacta box of the 1, 4, and 11, and if the 2 runs, I would make it a 4-horse exacta box. I think there's not going to be a strong favorite in the race, Christina, which means there's going to be some value in a 4-horse exacta box, and you win if any 2 of the 4 finish first and second.
On to race number 9, the Grade 1 Jedmont Spinster. No Midnight Bizu, as she was retired earlier this week, but still a fantastic renewal of this race. Ellis, we have our Kentucky Oaks winner in here. She Dares the Devil, taking on Older. She has had an ambitious campaign. Can she fire again?
I think so. I think this is a really interesting race. You know, some people may shy away from really short fields, but I like the strategy of this kind of race, how it's going to play out. It looks like a horse named Lady Kate might be in the front all by herself. She Dares the Devil ran her best race by far. And of course, Swiss Skydiver is running in the Preakness, which is, I think, just 10 minutes was Saturday, I mean. So it's going to be very interesting to see how she does. But She Dares the Devil was her 4th straight win. It was a career best effort. And I look back, it hadn't been a while, but 3-year-olds have won this race 3 times in the last 15 years. I think when you get a 3-year-old in this kind of form, Christina, I think she could be very tough to beat. The other legitimate contender is Ollie's Candy. She's done very little wrong in her career. She's earned $800,000. She's only been worse than third twice in 14 races, and she just got beat in the Clement Hirsch at Del Mar, which she had won the year before. She hasn't won since last year's Clement Hirsch in 6 races, but she's been knocking at the door, and if anybody can beat She Dares the Devil, Ollie's Candy is the one, and what should be a really strategic and fun spinster to watch.
What's your betting strategy in the Spinster this year with that shorter field, Ellis?
I'll just make a win bet. I'm hoping She Dares the Devil about 2-1. It'll be a nice win bet. If you're playing any doubles into the last race or from that great Bourbon Stakes, I would use both Ollie's Candy and She Dares the Devil. That would be a nice play as well.
Ellis, thank you very much as always. And for all of you out there at home, be sure to visit Twitter. The Uber Capper will be giving you some updated advice throughout the day today. In March, Keeneland banded together with food chain Visit Lex and the E.E. Murray Foundation to form Nourish Lexington, which provides nutritious meals to the food community in Lexington itself. This effort utilizes the talent of food service and hospitality employees who have been displaced from their work during the pandemic, and we are proud to say that since March, more than 150,000 meals have been distributed to the community. But we're not done, and there is more work to do. As the featured charity of the Keeneland Fall Meet, let's get an inside look at Nourish Lexington.
I think the magic behind the collaboration that created Nourish Lexington and what Food Chain's been able to push through with our kitchen is being at the right time in the right moment. I know we're particularly proud of the fact that we are well over 100,000 meals that have gone out as part of the Nourish Lexington effort. We know that that need is not going anywhere though. Unfortunately, right now, there is no limitation in terms of who's impacted by hunger. For a family who doesn't know how they're gonna stay in their housing or who might not know where they're gonna come up with money to pay their heating bill this winter, that's one more stress that's just burdened on top of them.
I see the people's faces when they light up when the vans come by to bring the food. just being happy. And I know what it feels like, because years ago I was that person standing in line too. So I know some people depend on them meals that might be their only meal for that day or that week.
During this pandemic, we felt the need to provide food for families within our community and within our context. And we were scrambling on the front end trying to figure that out. Perfect timing that we were able to connect with Nourish and with Food Chain. And they met a lot of the needs that we had as an organization in order to benefit the families that we work with.
In order to continue feeding those in our community who are most vulnerable, it does take dollars to actually provide those meals.
People think that you have to donate a tremendous amount of money, and you don't. Whatever little bit that you can give would be helpful to so many, because you don't realize how much they truly are in need.
My main reason that I try to get involved, because right now I'm dependent on a stranger to donate me a kidney. So if I can depend on a stranger, I can be that stranger to help other people.
So it is a real immediate impact by supporting Nourish Lexington. You're helping to ensure that no one in Lexington goes hungry, and that we can all be a resilient, well-nourished community together.
So pleased to be able to bring that story to you today, and just want to remind everybody, each meal only costs $7. So as little or as much as you can give, if you're able to, please visit nourishlexington.org. Give someone a meal today and try to give back to the wonderful community there in Lexington if you are able to. It's time now to get to our pedology section of the program. So we've asked you to send in your questions, and thank you for all of your submissions. Greg is here again today to answer one of your pressing handicapping questions. Here he is.
Hello, my name is Greg Burke. I'm a pedologist here at Keeneland, and I am here today to answer some of your questions from social media. So for our next question, the question came in was, where did the word handicapping actually derive? It actually derived from early on in the racing history, from when the knights came back from war and they were bored and they wanted to race their horses. And during those races, they kept the results. And going forward, whenever you had a horse that had won quite a few times, they would put more weight on that horse to make it more even for the other horses that are in the race. So my next question involves the modern version of handicapping. What is handicapping as it is today? Basically, it's anybody that looks at the horse race and you handicap each race as to which horse you like the best. You can pick any reason to like a horse. A lot of people will pick a horse just because it's wearing the number 7. But a lot of people will handicap it a little bit deeper. Some people will handicap it a lot deeper. They'll look into the jockeys' records, the horses' records, the trainers' past performances, and take all that into consideration, put it into their own algorithm, and come out with the horse that they want to bet on and how they want to bet it. So one of the questions we get a lot is, how is gambling at a racetrack different than gambling at a casino? So if you think about most of the games at a casino, basically it's you versus the house. In the converse, at the racetrack, all the bets are made, and the monies that come in for each pool of each bet, the track takes what's called a takeout. It's a certain percentage based on what the track is going to take out. All the money that is left for each pool, say the pool of win bets, the pool of place bets and show bets, all the monies that's left in that pool goes to paying out all the winners, the people that actually had the winning horse in that group.
Greg, thank you so much, as always, for answering those questions. And to you at home, keep submitting them. Greg and Rachel are here to help, our pedologists from Keeneland. One of the questions that you might have at some point is the old adage of racing, pace makes the race. It's time for Kurt's calls from home, and this competitor needs to learn a little something about pace. Take a look.
Here we have the sloth, nature's slowest mammal, but so many good lessons for racing. Set a modest pace, conserve your energy, slow and steady wins the race. This strategy could turn the racing world upside down.
That's going to wrap things up for today on Keeneland at Home. We've told you a little bit about fashion, how to make yourself a good drink for the afternoon with our friends at Buffalo Trace, set you up for that handicapping, and of course encouraged you to visit nourishlexington.org if you are able to. Want to thank Kurt Becker for his funny call as per usual, and encourage you to continue submitting any of those questions that you have for our pedologist. Continue to submit your funny home quarantine videos for Kurt. A special thanks to our race day sponsors today, Juddmonte, Keeneland Select, and again to our friends at UK HealthCare for sponsoring Keeneland at Home. They are ranked Kentucky's #1 hospital 5 years in a row, and you can learn more at ukhealthcare.com. Don't forget about the featured races as well, the Indian Summer, the Bourbon, and the Juddmonte Spinster. You can be sure to watch those on TV, on your phone, or on your computer. TVG, my colleagues over there will have you covered throughout the afternoon. The Keeneland Race Day app, Keeneland Select, YouTube, and also Keeneland.com if you are watching on the computer. Each and every day, we send you out with a Railbird set from the Burl, and today, Nicholas Jamerson will play us out to end the show. Good luck on this Sunday at Keeneland. This has been Keeneland at Home, and I'm Christina Blacker. We'll see you next week.
Finally made it out of the land of the cotton, down in the sycamore trees. Don't know where I'll be headed, but that's alright with me. You can say that I'm a wandering baby, but you can't say that I'm not. Look around at all of God's people, baby, tell me what else you got. And you can call me the wanderer, high on your head. I'm taking on the lightning and the thunder, when nobody else will. When nobody else will.